The following may contain strong opinionated views. The views and opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the views or the opinions of any social media or broadcast platform.
Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Well, here we are, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday, and we're here once again for another edition of the Coffee Hour. Thank you guys for being along with us. My name is Frank Allan, and guess what? We're going to be here for a whole full hour. We have a lot of things to talk about. We're going to talk conversation and have a lot of fun. And of course, all of you are invited to come in. Now, a lot of people have been with us for a very long time, so we thank you. And we couldn't thank you enough for following us all of these years. And speaking of all of that, we have people that may be possibly new to the show. So if you're just tuning in for the very first time, let me show you how this show operates. I, as the host, will get things rolling. I'm in prep mode. I'm doing what I'm doing right now, setting up and starting off conversation. And while I'm doing that, you could take the time at any time you want. As long as you have your keyboard on your computer, whether it's laptop, desktop, or your cell phone, or even your tablet, you have a computer screen you could watch us on. You can type in whatever you want to talk about. I will see you right there on the big screen. And of course, I will acknowledge all of you, all of your opinions and your thoughts and ideas. That's what it's all about. Free exchange of opinions and ideas. And of course, you have a lot of them and we want to hear them. That's why we're here. So we talk back to all of you guys as you talk to us. You can see us live on the screen. You can talk to other people who come in as well. You can make friends that way. So see, it's not just talking to the host, but you can talk to other people who be coming in and enjoying the show with us. As I said, we have a lot of things to talk about, and we want you to get involved too. And for those of you who are new, you ought to know that we come on live on 3 different platforms. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And either one of those can get you there. Wherever you're watching us on, it doesn't matter. It's all the same, and we're right here for you. We're going to continue to be here for you. Now, we also would like you to take the time right now, especially if you're new, get acquainted, right, with all of your friends and family, right, and get them in on the action as well. Now, how you do that? Well, what we want you to do is tag them. Now, how do you do that? Well, what you do is you cut and paste the platform that you're watching us on now, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. It doesn't matter. Cut and paste that platform and send it to as many friends and relatives as possible. You want to get them on the action as well. And they'll see that information coming from you. That's a tag. And once they see that, all they have to do is click onto it because they know who you are and they know who sent it to them. Click onto it and it brings them right to the platform that you're watching and they can see everything that's going on and watch the show from afar. Now, no matter where you go around the world, we're right there. Even though we're coming out of New York, that's where we originate, but we're all around the world. We're global. So this way, now you see that it depends on, well, you got people coming out of California, Missouri, all over the place, all over the country, all over the world. That's where we are. And so as long as you're in an area where there's a lot of great hotspots and Wi-Fi and all of those things that allow us to connect with you, we're right there. We're global. And we advise you to tell your friends about it too. Now, on the other side of the world, it's a different story. You may be at nighttime, maybe getting in from work or maybe getting ready to go to bed. But before you go to bed tonight, stay up with us and let us entertain you. Now, I'm Eastern and you may be in a different time zone. So it's a little bit after 10 o'clock where we are right now. And your time zone may be different. Just look at your clock and see what it says. That's what time we come on in your area each week here on the Coffee Hour. So keep that in mind. Okay. And of course, we'll keep you in mind as well. We always have fun and we always allow people to come in and to enjoy us. So stay right there where you are. Don't move further. Stay right there. Now, a lot of you may be at work right now. And those of you who are at work right now may be getting ready to enjoy your coffee break. You may be on a coffee break now, whether it's 5, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever they allow you. That coffee break, take that coffee break, stay at your desk, enjoy your coffee, and watch the show at the same time. Now, I know you're used to taking your coffee break and roaming around the office and talking to friends, your coworkers, which is fine too. But we ask you just this day, this Friday, right, to take your coffee break and stay at your desk and watch the show. Those of you who are hanging around the water cooler, you could do the same thing. You don't want to talk about what happened last night, right? Okay. So take your coffee break with us. And after your coffee break is over, depending on how long it is, when it's over, you'll still be at your desk and you can still continue to work. And that's what we call a little multitasking. So there you go. Now, in conjunction with interacting with you, all of you nice people out there, we also have our little thing that we do here to keep the show rolling, to stay within the format of the show, the confines of the show. We have sports coming up. All right. Now, within this half hour of the hour, not too far away, we're going to bring you sports. Now, Brian Camp is our sports guy. Brian Camp is on hiatus, and he's going to be back pretty soon, and we'll let you know more about that. But in the meantime, while he's gone, he's always nice enough to send us information on sports of the day or what's happening. And so we've got that for you. And we're going to recite all of that for you coming up. And as I said, not too long in the show. Also, later on in the program, before the show is over, till end, we are going to give you movies. Now, all of you who have been around with us a long time know that what that's all about. Each week, I dip into Turner Classic Movies. I go to the files of Turner Classic Movies and see what's on this week, so I can pick my choices, my picks of the week for your weekend. Now, I say the weekend because that's where you do most of your activities. You know, if you have the weekend off, a lot of you do, some of you don't. But those of you who do, I have my selections of movies that I'm going to recite to you later on. And those are classic movies, Turner Classic Movies. And I do that each week. I just dip into the files of Turner Classic Movies each week and pick out the very best that I think may be to your liking. And I hope they are. So that's coming up later on in the program. And because a lot of you guys who do things on the weekend, you do a lot of things on the weekend because we're in the summer mode right now, at least on this side of the planet, right, where we are. The other side of the planet, they're experiencing their winter, but that's okay. But we're all here at one as one family. But for those of you who are having the summer moments, you're going out and you may be doing a lot of things this weekend, setting up for the barbecue, outdoor barbecue and other outdoor activities. You're setting up for that. That's good. But just in case, a lot of you want to take time to check out movies you haven't seen in a long time. Well, that's where I come in, and I am going to bring you what I have, and I'll recite those for you a little later on in the program. Okay? Does that sound fair? Okay. Remember, all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, the Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. And that being said, I want to thank you again for being here with us. And let's get ready to lift our cups and our glasses, because after all, what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. Mm. It's iced coffee. You can tell, right? You see the frost. This is a metallic cup, so you can see the frost very easily, right? And it's that time of the year. Now, depending, I'll have a little more later on too. Depending on where you are, your weather may be cool in some places and warm in other places. Some places experience heat wave. We got a heat wave going on. It's not as intense as it was before, but this is the summertime. This is what we expect. Now, a lot of you who live in places where there's a lot of water, like in New York, where we are, we're surrounded by water. And along with the heat wave, if the humidity goes up, then we're asking for a little trouble because you're going to be sweating all around, which means now that you should carry your bottled water with you. Nice cold bottled water with you wherever you go to stay hydrated, you know. And because whenever you sweat, you already know that when you sweat, all you release all of that fluid out of your body, you have to put it back in. And the best way to do that is to hydrate and drink a lot of water. And those of you who may be in a climate where it's really, really warm, but you have no water around, it's mostly desert, well, then the humidity is not as high, like in California, Nevada, Arizona, and places like that. And the other thing I suggest that you do is look in on the elderly. Now, sometimes the elderly can't get around as much as they used to. And so they're going to need assistance. Now, they may not be able to come out in the hot weather, maybe for medical reasons. They have to stay in cool places. Of course, you might want to knock on their door and say, well, look, I'm going out, I'm picking up a few things. Can I pick up something for you? Something like that, and make sure that they're cool. I also suggest, too, if you're home and your air conditioning is not running properly, you might want to find one of those cooling places, those cooling centers that they have. We have a lot of them in New York, and I'm pretty sure they have a lot of them where you are. You can go to the library or places like that in public where public goes to take it easy. I couldn't think of a better place than a library, especially if you're going to study or something like that, going to read books or anything like that. You could stay cool and study at the same time. You take your laptop with you, you work, and you study and you stay cool at the same time. But there are a lot of cooling centers, and especially for senior citizens, like they have places where senior citizens hang out, cooling centers, they're great. So try to keep warm, try to keep cool, I should say, as much as possible. And again, I couldn't, say this enough, but you must hydrate yourself. Stay cool at all costs. Okay. Well, thank you guys for being along with us. And here we are in the month of July. It's the middle of July and it's almost over. It's the 18th of July. And of course, you already know that as fast as the months come in, the faster they go. It only seemed like we just had the 4th of July holiday. That already happened already. We've got other holidays coming up as we move along, especially in September and October, November, December. Those are the major holidays. They come along and you're going to be waiting around for that. But we don't want to push that too much right now. We're enjoying the moment right now of the nice weather that we're having. And those of you who live in New York and you go out, you go to those places that you love so much, those amusement park. And one comes to mind is Coney Island. And a lot of people like to do that. So we advise you to just enjoy. Stay with us for the whole hour and let's enjoy what we have. And in the month of July, we usually celebrate something that comes up, but there's nothing to celebrate unless, of course, you're celebrating something in specifically you're celebrating something. We would like to know about that. And that goes good with conversation because we always say that even though I throw out conversation to get things rolling, you might want to have something to say, something other than what we're putting out too. And if it's important to you, it's important to us, and we would love to acknowledge you on that. So stay with us and we'll talk about anything that you want to talk about. We talk about anything from sports to politics, anything that you want to talk about. So feel free at any time. Again, you can let your fingers do the walking on your keyboards, okay? And as I said, we're not celebrating anything specifically on this month of July, except we're going to acknowledge a couple of things that you should know about, since it's summertime. We have National Ice Cream Month. Whatever your flavor of ice cream is, it doesn't matter. We're setting aside this time of the month for your favorite ice cream, National Ice Cream Month. What's your favorite ice cream? A lot of people like chocolate. If you're having chocolate, please take it with caution. Be very careful with chocolate. Chocolate is the kind of thing that kind of hypens you up. And the next thing you know, you'll be dancing on the tables and flipping over and dancing on the ceiling. All right. So chocolate is good, and a lot of people like chocolate, but then a lot of people like vanilla too, and then other flavors, whatever your favorite flavor is, enjoy your ice cream on National Ice Cream Month. Okay. Also, you don't have to eat it with your ice cream. As a matter of fact, I don't suggest that you eat it with your ice cream, but just know that it's also National Hot Dog Month. Okay. And that reminds me, when hot dogs, it reminds me of Coney Island here in New York. It reminds me of a nice baseball game you could attend, things like that. All of those things, right? So it's National Hot Dog Month, and you could have it any way you want. A lot of people enjoy hot dogs many different ways. Some people enjoy the standard, which is hot dog and mustard, and then put a little sauerkraut on it. Some people love it with ketchup, and some people love it with onions and mustard and things like that. It's your way. You do it your way, but just know. Now, you don't have to enjoy these things any particular month. This is just the month that's set aside to acknowledge that it is the month when you can enjoy ice cream and hot dogs, all right? Because it is the summer months too. And when you think of ice cream, you think of summer months, right? Usually, although ice cream is an all year round thing, it's just that I would recommend that if when the winter comes around and you eat ice cream, you eat it outside in sub-degree weather. No, I wouldn't suggest that. Uh, and then there's the hot dogs. That reminds me of Coney Island, you know. And hot dogs, I remember when they were cheap. Living in Brooklyn and Coney Island back in the old days when hot dogs were like 20 cents. I remember as a kid, they were earlier than that, they were like 10 cents. Some of you remember when they were 10 cents, but I could only go back to, I believe, 20 cents hot dogs. And they were big in Coney Island. Hot dogs were big in Coney Island. And hot dogs go with Coney Island, and it goes with a nice baseball game as well. Okay, so there you go. And that's what we have on hand for this week. And we're celebrating that. Okay, just in case you guys are just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. Now, a lot of you may remember when our go-to platform was Facebook. That's no longer our go-to platform right now, at least not for now. We're here live on YouTube, but you'll get to see the show, even though we're not live on it now. That's now not our flagship platform, which is now our flagship platform is now YouTube. But you'll get to see the show on Facebook as well, because later on after the show, after we reproduce it and get finishing touches on it, we send it out to Facebook. So those of you who didn't get a chance to see it live, you can see it then. But this is where we are. Now, what we want you to do is tell your friends, if you found where we are, and I'm glad that you did, if you found where we are, what I want you to do is to pass the word along to your friends. Now, for all of you who are on Facebook, probably know that, when I post on Facebook, I post a show. And this morning's show was posted on Facebook. I'm talking about the promo, where it would say the coffee hour Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And not only you get the post, but you get, and it's in some blue highlight. All you have to do is click onto it. That's the platform there. That's where to go. And that's all you have to do is click onto that, and it brings you right here where we are live, right here on YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, I also want you to get acquainted with our YouTube channel. Now, a lot of you may watch the show on Facebook. You watch the show on Instagram. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook. You watch the show on there, and those could be your favorite places to go. It's okay. But what I want you to do, if you don't want to do it now, do it later after the show. Go onto our YouTube channel, and what I want you to do is subscribe to us. And all you have to do is just take your mouse, move it over, and you'll see it right there. It's in black border and white print. It says subscribe. Just take your mouse, drag the arrow over there, point it right there, and click onto it, and that's it. Now, the reason why we want you to do that is because we want to keep up with all the people who are following us. That's number one. Number two, it gives you the opportunity to know, now that you have clicked onto it, that whenever we come on live, you'll get an instant notification just like that. That's the benefit of clicking on and subscribing to our YouTube channel. Okay. And so you get that instant notification because a lot of you may forget about the show. Let's say, for instance, next week you're out there and you're doing whatever you're doing on the computer, but instant notification pops up and it reminds you, okay, he's on the air live. Okay. Now, when we're not on the air live, when we're off hours, you still may get an instant notification from some other reason. That means there's an activity going on that reminds you that you can go to the Facebook channel or the YouTube channel and see what's taking place, because we may be posting a video, we may be posting a still picture or something. Whatever activity it is, you can check it out, find out for yourself. So that's the benefit of clicking on and subscribing to our YouTube channel for that particular reason. So there you go. Okay, we thank you guys for being along with us. And those of you who intend to indulge in conversation, and we hope you do, we invite you to do that, because I would like to address all of you personally. If you're out there, well, I'd like to say hello to you, and you come out and you, as I said, if you want to come out and say something in particular, that's good. Even if it's just to say hi, that's good. Now, I always do that. What I never do is acknowledge you, because I see you when you come in. I can see you when you come in, but some people just come in just to watch and not say anything. And those are people I will not acknowledge, because out of respect, because a lot of people don't want to be brought out there just like that. They just rather sit back and watch the show. But be aware that I do know that you're out there, because I can see you when you come up, but I won't say anything unless you say hi or something like that. And then I will give you a hearty greeting personally, and then we can get you involved in the show too. But a lot of you may just want to sit back and relax the show, and especially if you're new. You want to make sense of the show. You want to get acquainted that way. You just want to sit back and watch and see how it goes. And then maybe somewhere down the road, you can participate in the show. But those of you who are planning to participate and indulge in conversation with us, what I want you to do is take time and give us your weather forecast. All right. Now, I know you're not a meteorologist, but you know what's going on in your weather, and you don't have to give a full-blown weather forecast. You can give something simple, like a cloudy emoji, a sunny emoji, a rainy emoji, and something like 65 degrees going up to 75 degrees or something like that. Something simple, because I like to compare notes. I like to compare what my weather here in New York is like wherever you are, and we can compare notes. Because everyone's weather is not the same. We all have different weather depending on where we are. In New York, I've got that weather forecast. So that means all of you who live in New York or in the vicinity of New York, you don't have to worry. You don't have to give me your weather forecast. If you're going to indulge in conversation with us, you don't have to give us your weather forecast, because I'm going to take care of the local weather forecast. But for the rest of you in different parts of the world, different parts of the country, and different parts of the nation, give us your weather forecast. We would love to see what's happening, okay, as far as your weather is concerned. Okay, I'm going to give you my weather forecast. How about that? Let's get started with that. It's not going to be bad. For New Yorkers, it's not going to be bad at all. Now, we may get rain just one day out of the whole weekend. Other than that, it's not going to be bad at all. Now, what we have at the moment, we have 75 degrees. It's 75 degrees right now. And the sun is out presently, but it's going to come in and out. Peekaboo, in and out. So this is what we have for today. We have partly cloudy skies. We're going to have a high of 86 degrees. Winds will be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. All right. No rain in the forecast so far. Isn't that nice? That's nice to know. For tonight, we've got partly cloudy skies. low around 70 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. So if you're going out, you need to take anything with you, like your umbrella or anything with you. Now, some people, even though the weather may be rain free, but people like to carry their folding umbrellas just in case, you know? And I understand that a lot of people do that. But I don't think you have to worry about it tonight. Saturday, which is my favorite day of the weekend, I should say, Saturday, we're going to have some sun in the morning, increasing clouds during the afternoon. We'll have a high 82 degrees. Winds will be southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So you can still do some outdoor activities, you know, for your Saturday here in New York. Could even go to Coney Island or do whatever you want to do. Okay. For tonight, Saturday night, we'll have a considerable cloudiness. We'll have a low of 74 degrees outside. So the temperatures are pretty nice out there. Winds will be south at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now, we said that one day out of this weekend, you get a little rain, and that would be Sunday. And not only will you get a little bit rain, but the thermometer is going up a bit higher. So this is what we have for Sunday. Scattered thunderstorms. Storms may contain strong gusty winds. So look out for that. Hold on to your hats and toupees. And try not to let your umbrella blow inside out. Okay. We'll have a high around 92 degrees. That's the high for Sunday. Winds will be west-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And chance of rain is only 40%. Now, that's a low percentage, but again, you know, it's there. And repeating our New York current temperature, we have 75 degrees outdoors. That's what we have. Again, those of you who are going to indulge in conversation, and we hope that you do, give us that. Give us your weather forecast. You know, it's fun. It's a thing that we want to compare, just to compare the notes. That's all we want to do, just to compare the notes, right? That's all we want to do. So get that together. Okay, there we go. We got the weather forecast for you, and we want to say hello to a lot of people who are coming in. Those of you who are watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, we thank you so much for being part of us for this day. And make sure that you act accordingly right throughout the day. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, as I said, Brian Camp, usually who's our sports guy, is not going to be with us today. And I mentioned it plenty of times before that he's on hiatus. He's on hiatus, and he's going to be out for a while, but he'll be back pretty soon. And when he comes back, he'll develop his own sports and give us him. But in the meantime, he was nice enough to give us the sports for the week, and we're going to do that after I take a little shot of this. It's nice and cold because it's warm in New York, as I already indicated. It's nice and cold. Anyway, we're going to take a look at sports and see what we have on tap. Starting on this day, here we are, July 18th, the year of our Lord, July 18th. Back in 1921, Babe Ruth achieved 139 home runs with a major league record of all time. Back in 1927, Ty Cobb had 4,000 Major League Baseball career hits. Back in 1943, the Giants and Phillies strand record 30 base runners in New York, and they win that game 10-6. Back in 1960, Baseball National League votes to add Houston and New York franchises. In 1969, Joe Namath agrees to sell interest in Bachelors 3. Remember that club that they had back in the day, Bachelors 3? And they stayed in the NFL. In 1970, Willie Mays becomes the 10th player to get 3,000 hits. In 1994, court upholds the NBA's salary cap and draft rights. Now, birthdays on this day, back in 1940, Joe Torre, infield manager, and he, of course, managed the New York Yankees, was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1971. And Freeney Penny Hardaway, the NBA guard, was born in Memphis, Tennessee in 1975. Torrey Hunter from the Minnesota Twins was born in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And of course, in other sports, Washington Commanders receiver Terry Loughlin said that he hasn't decided whether he will attend the opening week of training camp next week, telling reporters on Tuesday that he's pretty frustrated about the lack of movement on contract talks with his team. Now, McLaughlin, has 1 year remaining on his 3-year, $68 million contract extension. And his status for next week's training camp remains unclear. Major League Baseball honored the late Hall of Famer Hank Aaron by recreating his record-breaking 715 home runs through the use of projection mapping and pyrotechs. The lights went down at Truist Park, and fans took holding their cell phone lightings following the sixth inning on Tuesday. That's Tuesday's night All-Star game. And the scene from April 8th, 1974 at the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium was projected on the infield and also shown on the video board. The high-tech image of the Aaron play and other players was seen on the Truist Park infield before the blaze of ball of fire launched from the home plate to signify the homer that pushed Aaron past Babe Ruth's record of 114 homers. Aaron's widow, Billy Aaron, stood and waved as cheers from the sellout crowd went on. The cheers and the sellout crowd was 41,702, and they grew louder. Wyndham Clark has been suspended from Oakmont County Club due to the golfer's actions, and he caused damage to a locker during the 2025 U.S. Open last month. In a letter obtained by the Golf Digest, the club president, John Lynch, and what he did, he informed members that Clark is not allowed on the property and that he can reinstate himself if he fulfills certain requirements, like paying for the damages that he caused, making a charitable contribution, and attending counseling and or management anger classes. The U.S. bobsled and skeleton has entered into a multi-year endorsement deal with American Honda, one that will give the Sliding Sports Federation financial and technical support going into both next winter's Malin Cordinia Olympics and the 2030 games in the French Alps. The deal announced Wednesday has been in the works for some time, and Honda, which becomes the official primary technology partner of the team, will give USABS, among other things, access to the wind tunnel in Ohio for research and development purposes. Soccer is one of the most popular sports in the world, you know that, but it's still grasping and gravitating to get traction in the U.S. A group of entrepreneurs aim to change the playing field for the sports, which launched the Kickback Soccer Media, and a platform that aims to grab people who get into the sport via the 2026 World Cup. The new media outlet will consist of 3 different venues cultivating soccer fans, and has struck an agreement with the social media platform Blue Sky that aims to make it home the U.S. controversies or the conversation about soccer in advance to support the top event next year. Now, if you have anything in sports that you're looking for. Let's say, for instance, games. And we already know that the All Star game has concluded along with the Home Run Derby. And so that gave all of the baseball players some rest time. So everyone goes back to work starting tonight, just in time for the weekend. And if you're looking for your favorite sporting event, wherever it is, particularly baseball, I want you to go to your local listings and check it out. Find out who's playing, when they're playing, and whether they're on the road or at home, anything like that. Check your local listings because baseball is back in session starting tonight. They go back. And the All Star game, who did you root for in the All Star game? Was it, I don't know, the National League? I usually go for the American League. All right. Some people go for the National League. It doesn't matter. Um, but lately, I haven't been too much into the All Star game. Not that much. I mean, years ago I did. I said, so I go for the American League. And I only did that is because the American League back in the early days of baseball, particularly in the 60s and the 70s, throughout the seasons, the American League players, the American League teams played other American League teams. National League teams played other National League teams. Now, these days, you have teams that they're playing each other, which they call interleague. So American League can play National League teams and vice versa. All right. And I think that's when I stopped rooting for the All-Star games, because whether you go for the American League, National League, it doesn't matter. Some of these teams, they play each other now. The interleagues. That's what it is. Anyway, that's what's happening in the world of sports. We thank Brian for giving us the information. And I repeat that Brian is on hiatus and he will be back pretty soon, pretty shortly. We'll let you know more about that as it goes along. But in the meantime, we want you to stay with us. We want to say hello to Mary Reed, who's out there. Thank you so much. Having a healthy, she's having a healthy drink. A tunic? Does that say tunic? Does that say a tunic drink? Or is it tonic drink? Anyway, she's having a healthy drink. Hey, listen, I wouldn't consider coffee a healthy drink because coffee, as you already know, contains caffeine. But listen, every once in a while, you have a little, you slide off, you fall off the wagon, and you have a little coffee and tea. Now, tea, a lot of people drink tea because they say it's more refined. But did you know that tea contains a little more caffeine than coffee does? Did you know that? Did you know that, Mary? They say everybody talks about coffee has a lot of caffeine in it, but tea contains a little more caffeine than coffee, which is why whatever you drink, whatever it is, whether it's coffee or tea, you can go regular coffee, regular tea, or you can go decaffeinated. They do have decaffeinated tea, which is healthier, and they do have decaffeinated coffee. But either way, coffee, by the way, also dehydrates. All right. So you may be asking me, well, why are you drinking coffee if you know it dehydrates? Well, I'm going to drink water later on. I'm going to drink water later on. But this is like ice cold coffee. And coffee beans are big in Brazil, a place where they're going to raise the tariffs 50%. Now, you know what that means? If you're a coffee lover, do you know what that means? That means your coffee prices are going to go. I mean, I'm laughing, but I don't really find it funny. It's because I like coffee. All right. But Brazil turns out the best coffee. They make the best coffee beans. They produce the best coffee beans. There's also a lot of coffee in Brazil. All right. But the tariffs are going up 50%. And that means our coffee prices are going up. Mary, you drink a lot of coffee? I don't know. She's drinking a tunic drink, having a healthy one. So I say tunic. I'm sorry, Mary, but I don't know what a tunic drink is. I really don't. you only know that because you know about it. But inform me because maybe I'll have me a tunic drink. I'm game for anything that's healthy. I do that. Anyway, folks, again, you're watching the coffee hour. And by the way, if you come in and you can talk to Mary, you can talk to me, you can talk to all of us, those of you who are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, we thank you so much for being with us and stay with us because we're going to be here for the entire hour, for the rest of the hour. Now, those of you who are watching, we ate up a lot of time already. And if you haven't done it thus far, try to contact your friends with the little time that we have left, which is another 20 minutes or so. Share it with your friends. As I said, take my advice and cut and paste the platform that you're watching us on right now. It helps us a lot when you do that, because it brings everybody to us. They don't know where we are. They can find out where we are. Some people just roam the internet and just accidentally find us. And I'm happy for that when they do that. All right. And but what we want you to do is cut and paste the platform that you're watching us on right now and send it to your friends and your relatives. And they'll see that it'll pop up. They'll get the message. It'll pop up. The notice coming from you. And all they have to do is just click onto it and it just brings them right to us. Just as simple as that. Okay. So please do that. We really appreciate that. Okay. David Caff, the British actor and musician known for playing keyboardist Viv Savage on the Rob Reiner's This Is a Spinal Tap. Now, he died Friday. No cause of death has been officially confirmed, but his band, Mutual of Alma Mater's, Wild Kingdom report that Caff had peacefully passed away in his sleep. He was 79 years old. Connie Francis, who dominated the pop charts in the 1950s and 60s with sobbing ballads such as Who's Sorry Now, Don't Break the Heart That Loves You, as well as up-tempo rock or soft rock tunes like Stupid Cupid, Lipstick on Your Collar, and Vacation, died Wednesday. Francis had an easy, fluid voice style and a powerful set of lungs and a natural way with a wide variety of material, such as old standards, rock and roll, country, as well as pop songs in Italian, Yiddish, Swedish, and a dozen of other languages too as well. And she once said, everyone should be an Italian once. Connie Francis was 87 years old. In its first original day or his daily program designed especially for Disney Plus, ABC will start each week or each weekday at 6 a.m., dispatched by James Logman and Rachel Scott to give viewers of an 8 to 10 minute cap of the latest headlines. Now, the latter may hold forth often from the White House or other powerful seat in the Washington, D.C., while the former officers, they update from the many overseas locales he may regularly visit. Now, the Disney News division has plans to expand this show, What You Need to Know, to other times for the Disney Plus subscriber, and the series debuts on July 21st. Country superstar George Strait announced last Friday that he would be putting on an intimate donor dinner and concert on July 22nd to raise money for the families affected by the tragic Texas flooding from July 4th that left over 100 dead, including dozens of children. Now, the event features not only Strait himself, but allows other country singers such as William Beckman, Ray Benson, Wade Bowen, Dean Dillon, Riley Green, also Randy Houser, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Park, and of course, Houston Westbrook. Beyonce Knowles Carter closed her Atlantic show for the Cowboy Carter tour, and the grand finale performance was one of the most unforgettable shows yet, powered by the electric crowd and standout moments. The Grammy-winning singer kicked off her final Atlantic show concert at the place called the Mercedes-Benz Stadium on Monday, and the concert marked the last four shows at the stadium on the Cowboy Carter and Rodeo Chitlin circuit. Longtime American Idol music supervisor Robin Kay and her musician husband Tom DeLuca were both found dead in the Southern California home. And at about 2:30 p.m. Sunday, officers conducted a welfare check at the home in Encino, California, following a report from the neighbors who had reported it. Hadn't seen them in days, and officers later went to the residence, and they went into the house and discovered two bodies, later on identified as Kay and DeLuca, and both were 70 years old. Birthdays today. On this day, actress Kristen Bell is 45 years old today. Actor Vin Diesel is 58. Radio personality and TV personality Wendy Williams is 61 years old today. Actress Elizabeth McGovern is 64 years old today. Country singer Ricky Skaggs is 71. Martha Reeves of Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, that great Motown sound, is 84 today. Actor James Brolin is 85. Dion DiMucci of Dion and the Belmonts is 94. Blues rock singer, the late Screamin' Jay Hawkins would have been 96. Astronaut John Glenn, the late John Glenn, would have been 104. Nelson Mandela would have been 107. And comedian Red Skelton would have been 112 years old. So happy birthday to all of them in show business. The ones who are alive today, who are celebrating, we say happy birthday to you and many, many more. And we're not going to forget the people who we just read off who are no longer with us, because they left us a legacy that we can't forget. So we continue to acknowledge them each year too, as well. Happy birthday to them as well. And if you're celebrating a birthday, my friends, happy birthday to you. And you can acknowledge it right here. Now, those of you who are having a birthday coming up and you would like us to acknowledge it, although you ought to know that you could do it yourself as well by coming out here and just saying, hey, it's my birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We can acknowledge that for you. All we have to do is get the information from you. You get the information to us, and we will acknowledge you on our show. Now, I have two sources. I have an email address and a telephone number. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the email address first. Email address is Frank Allan Prod. Allan is spelled Allan. That's because we want you to spell that right. I say that because there are different ways to spell Allan, and we want you to spell it right because of the fact that we want to get you here. Because when you email, if you one character out of a line, your email won't go through. So we want to spell that right. Allan. Prod is Prod. That's short for productions. You got that? Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Telephone number 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Now, you don't have to get in contact just because you have a birthday. It could be for other reasons. We just want you to contact us. You can contact us maybe because you saw the show and you want to make comments about the show. You want to critique the show, which we do encourage you to do that. It helps us out when you do that. We're not going to get sore about it if you don't like the show. We want to know from you because we learn whether or not you like what you see or you don't like what you see, and maybe we can improve ourselves in doing something. We can definitely improve ourselves. There's no question about that. Every day of your life, you can improve yourself because every day is different. And sometimes you have to make changes. You have to adapt to changes. And of course, we plan to do that on this show as well. But whatever it is, you can contact us, even if it's just to say hi. Or maybe you have some kind of idea that you think we should implement in our show. We listen to you. Okay? We'll do that. Now, we can't promise you everything, but we can promise you that we take it in consideration. We listen and take it in consideration. We promise you that. Okay? And some people just like to just say, hello. That's it. You're not wasting our time, but get in contact us. That's what we want you to do because we love to hear from you, whatever it is. Okay. So make sure that you have all of that information and put it in your electronic devices, such as your cell phone, your computer, be it laptop, desktop, or even your tablets. As a matter of fact, you know what I suggest? If you have all of those electronic devices, put it in all of them because whatever's handy at the moment, it's right there. All you have to do is just click onto it and get it. It's right at your disposal. Pops right up. That's what I do. Whatever I have in my laptop is also in my desktop and it's also in my cell phone. That's the way I operate. And I think that's a good way to operate. So get that information and keep that information. All right. All right. So let me give you that email address once again. The email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Again, that's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. We'll look forward to hearing from you. I'm going to wait here until you do. Okay. All right. We were on the show last night, Talk Back Live, and I assume some of you were there. If you weren't, I always invite you to come there to watch us as well. We have two shows, Talk Back Live, and of course, this the Coffee Hour. And I will tell you more about Talk Back Live before we go off the air. But last night when we were on the air, we were talking about, and it's the big news. It dominates the news. Everything is dominated by this particular one. We're talking about the Jeffrey Epstein file. I talked about it last night on the show. All right, and probably you guys heard the story. The felon, FOTUS, or whatever you want to call him, you already know who he is. I don't have to mention him by name because you already know who he is. You already know that him and his team, his White House team, seem to be hiding something about this. Now, it only seems to me that Jeffrey Epstein has been resurrected because now he's in the news. Elon Musk is a thing of the past. It's Jeffrey Epstein now. He came back from the grave, and it's a big thing now. People are trying to find out what was in the files, who was on that list, you know. And it seems that the White House is hiding it. They don't want to say anything about it. And not only have the Democrats came out and talked about it, but even his own supporters of the Republican MAGA, the MAGA Republicans, are coming out and saying, hey, you know something? What's going on here? Do you realize, maybe you don't know this, but people are now burning those MAGA caps? I kid you not. You go online after the show is over, of course, and go to, while you're on YouTube, check it out. Type in MAGA, I guess something that may relate to getting you there, like burning of MAGA caps or something like that. And they have footage of people burning their MAGA caps. So people are getting really riled up about this, his own base people. And it got worse when he called his own base people weak, stupid, and called this whole thing a hoax. Everything is a hoax. Now, the FOTUS has a very low vocabulary, as you already know. His whole vocabulary is hoax, fake news, witch hunt, those things. That's his whole vocabulary. And everything that comes out, it's all about the Democrats. The Democrats started this thing. The Democrats started the Jeffrey Epstein file controversy. It was the Democrats. And the MAGA Republicans are not buying it. Even the people who do their podcast, like Alex Jones, people like Megan Kelly, people like Candace Owens, they're all Trumpers. You know, Candace Owens said in one of her shows just the other day, she says that the FOTUS, I don't call his name, but she calls his name. The FOTUS thinks that the MAGA Republicans are stupid. That's what she said. She said that he thinks that the MAGA Republicans are stupid. I have to agree with them. They are stupid. You know, I mean, after all of this time, you're starting to realize what's going on with this guy. For years, he's been doing this, and now you're waking up to this thing. Now you're waking up to it. And here you are. Here you are. You're finally waking up. But make no mistakes, ladies and gentlemen, just because these people that we're talking about, these MAGA people, just because they're outraged about it and they're burning their caps and everything, that does not mean they're falling out of line with this guy. Make no mistake about it. Don't be a damn fool. Make no mistake about it. They're still there with him, you know. So people are still wondering, what's going to happen next. It's not going to be any change. There's no change, ladies and gentlemen. There's not going to be any change with this guy. His people are still going to be with him. And I often wonder and ask the question, what does that make you after everything that he's done? He called you stupid. He called you weak. And now you're still with him. So what does that make you? It makes you want to who he is. And we already know who he is. Right? There you go. So that's the news. And the news go on, the beat goes on. And next week we'll be talking about something else. Who knows? Who knows? Keep the faith, baby. Keep the faith. Got movies that I want to talk to you about. I want to do them right quick because I only have 2 this week, and they're both musicals, they're both in color, and they're both classics. So let me get started with the first one. This one is called On the Town. Go back to 1941, starring Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, and Betty Garrett. You can catch it on Turner Classic Movies on Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. All right. And then you have another musical called Flower Drum Song, Ring a Ding Ding, 1961, starring Nancy Kwan, James Shigata, and of course, Juanita Hall. And that's Turner Classic Movies. You can check it out Sunday at 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Those are the 2 that I have. Now, if you go on Turner Classic Movies, go to the place where you can find all of those free movies. That's on demand. There are a lot of them from A to Z, down the road. And there are a lot of movies that you haven't seen in a while, a lot of movies that may jog your memory. They're right there. And also, while you're there on demand, go to the movies, the pay-per-view movies that are in the movies now, some recently in the movies. And you can go to those pay-per-view movies. Of course, you have other places to go. You have sporting events. You have children's documentaries, adult documentaries, all kinds of children's programs, and all of the networks are there. You can click on. If you missed your favorite sporting event, you can go there and check it out. And a lot of times without commercial interruption. You like Lifetime movies? There's a Lifetime app there. You can go and check it out right there and see what's there to be offered, and a whole lot of things. And of course, being that you're also resourceful, you love those premium platforms such as Netflix, Disney, Paramount, all of those other fabulous outlets that you enjoy so much. And you could watch to your heart content. All right. So let me give you these movies once again. I think you like them. I hope that you will like them. And we'll start with On the Town. On the Town, starring Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, and Betty Garrett. And it's on Turner Classic Movies at Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And it's one of those fine musical comedies that I think you'll like. So check that out. The other one is Flower Drum Song, another musical sort of comedy. back in 1961, starring Nancy Kwan, James Shigata, and Juanita Hall. Turner Classic Movies, and you can check that out at Sunday at 3:15 p.m. I hope you enjoy all of these movies and leave a report on my desk come Monday. I'd like to know how you feel about that. That's going to wrap it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here. My weekend is officially underway. Yours will be soon. I will be back here next week, next Thursday, to be more blunt, on Talk Back Live. That's the show that I want you to join us at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we'll have sports. And I look forward to seeing you then. And then you come back here again next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the coffee hour. We'll have sports and a whole lot of fun. Brian will be back soon. We'll let you know more about that. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you back here soon. Take care of yourself.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allan. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.